Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the last 7 days. I'm Andrew Sparrow.
And I'm Greg Stewart.
This is the show where we have conversations about the news across discrete manufacturing, more specifically how it relates to CAD, PLM, simulation, virtual manufacturing, and MES-MOM.
That's right. Today is Monday, February 26th, and we are looking at A&D news.
Coming up, NASA, Artemis readiness, Aerojet Rocketdyne with plenty of news, Lockheed Martin, AeroVironment, lots from Airbus, and plenty more from BAE. Ready, set, let's take off.
A spacecraft built and flown by Texas company Intuitive Machines landed near the south pole of the moon on Thursday, the first U.S. touchdown on the lunar surface in more than half a century, and the first ever achieved by the private sector. The uncrewed six-legged robot lander, dubbed Odysseus, Odie for short, touched down at about 6:23 p.m. Eastern, the company and NASA commentators said in a joint webcast of the landing from Intuitive Machines Mission Operations Center in Houston. I actually turned this on last night, Andrew, and was just listening in as I was hearing them in the background. It was actually a pretty, I would say, a nail-biting final approach and descent in which a problem surfaced with the spacecraft's autonomous navigation system.
I heard this. I heard there was a problem.
Yeah. It required engineers on the ground to employ an untested workaround at the last minute, right? It was funny. I heard them say
about the radio went down or something. They lost touch.
Yeah. They said, "Hey, we've lost communications," and I go, "Oh no, this is not great." It did take some time because I think to cycle their radio, to power cycle it, it takes a total of 15 minutes, and I think they ended up having to do that twice. Right? Obviously, it's over 200,000 miles away from Earth. So it's a little bit of time to figure out if that finally worked. When it did finally regain contact, it was still a pretty faint signal, but we were able to confirm that the lander had touched down, and we're starting to get data from that. I'm excited to kind of hear what comes over the next couple days.
I'm thrilled about this, and I know there's always a lot of cynicism out there for space travel and terraforming and other planets, all this kind of stuff. But because, there's people starving out there and all those all those bad things, I should say. But the reality is, what I know with this kind of stuff is it galvanizes at least a nation, if not multiple nations, if not the entire planet. It just gets us to focus on what we can do, what we're potentially able to achieve. I think I'm thrilled by the whole thing, I've got to say. To get us back on the moon. Can't wait for the whole Artemis mission I think we're talking about as well, to get humans back on the moon. I mean, great stuff.
Yeah, it's also one of those things, and I learned this yesterday, that as we landed yesterday, it sounds like the lunar lander is going to run for about 2 weeks before the sun goes away and it is rendered inoperable because of the cold temperatures. And so, when I think of our Mars rovers that are out there, this is not a long-term project here. This is going to be a couple weeks. We're going to collect as much data as we can. But just to be extra clear, this was NASA technology on Intuitive Machines lunar lander that was sent into space on a SpaceX rocket. I mean, I love seeing the collaboration between all of these different companies, and I know you'll want to talk about it, but how do multiple companies benefit from using a single MES-MOM system?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily the organizations you've just mentioned. I think you've got supply chain issues there. That's that whole synchronized coordination of bringing everything together, ready for takeoff, etc. I think where MES-MOM plays a part is that ultimately the assembly of those pieces of equipment, landing, space rocket, payload, etc. That MES-MOM just pulls everything together in real time, coordinated, certificated, etc. Ultimately, that's for me what it's all about. Moving on, plenty going on, however, in the last 7 days over at Aerojet Rocketdyne. First up, I mentioned the Artemis mission progress. So NASA's Artemis mission with Aerojet Rocketdyne. the NASA Stennis Space Center, where significant strides are being made in the Artemis mission. Earlier this month, the Space Center installed a new RS-25 engine nozzle, marking a crucial step in certifying the production of new engines for the Space Launch System rocket. The upcoming RS-25 hot fire on February 23 will bring us one step closer to powering the future Artemis mission to the moon and beyond. So let's just talk Aerojet Rocketdyne for a moment and what they've been doing with these engines. Aerojet has huge expertise around propulsion for space exploration. It's their design and knowledge that's put this whole thing together. But then equally, you've got the precision manufacturing of critical components as well as the design and engineering with these RS-25 engines. This includes the production of complex and high precision parts that make up the engine's core and nozzle and ensuring the integrity and durability of that propulsion system.
I'm pretty excited about these RS-25 rockets, right? I mean, the RS-25 engine has a rich heritage. It's derived from the space shuttle main engines, right, that were used during the space shuttle program. It's got
Reusability, yeah.
Yes, high reusability. Yep, that's going to be huge. There's also a lot of testing and certification process that goes into this to make sure that their reliability and safety, really for human spaceflight, is up to par. So I'm excited for them. I think that'll be pretty important for sure.
Yep.
I mean, so with Aerojet, Kratos Defense and Security Solutions has placed an order for a new Zeus 1 and Zeus 2 rocket motors in collaboration with Aerojet. They're set to deploy Zeus solid rocket motors, SRMs, for defense missions. These motors aim to provide cost-effective solutions for commercial launch stages, including hypersonic tests, which we'll get to later, ballistic missile targets, and sounding rockets. Andrew, how familiar? I mean, are you familiar with Zeus 1 and Zeus 2 SRMs? How do they enhance performance compared to existing models?
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't say very familiar, but pretty familiar. Because Aerojet's been working with Kratos now to create, basically, it's a 3-foot diameter high performance motor with a lithium ion composition that really kind of heightens energy density. What makes them really different is that it's the versatility they've got, they fit seamlessly into existing vehicle designs, and their focus is very much on affordability without compromising on advanced technology. To go on a little further, that they're also being used in hypersonic tests, and this makes these Zeus SRMs not only advanced and adaptable for various missions, including hypersonic, ballistic missile that you mentioned earlier as well, but also indicative of the industry move towards cost-effective, high-performance solutions, aka what we might call in automotive mass production. So mass production of rockets. So talking of hypersonic, a more from Aerojet today now with Lockheed Martin. So I love this one. The SR-72 and Lockheed's hypersonic UAV. Ever heard of it, Greg?
Yes, I love it.
Okay. So you've seen Top Gun Maverick, correct?
Better than the first one.
Okay.
It's
if you
great.
remember that crazy fast aircraft right at the start that we all want to be the real deal, you remember that?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
that's the one that he crashed, right?
Correct. You got it. Okay. So could that ended up being a fictional aircraft from Top Gun Maverick, which was known as the Dark Star, provides insights into an SR-72's capabilities? The SR-72 is a hypersonic UAV designed for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and of course has been shrouded in secrecy. Lockheed Martin's collaboration with Aerojet to develop a scramjet system indicates the ambitious nature of the project, which is targeted for deployment in the 2030s. We've got to wait a little while, unfortunately. It's Aerojet Rocketdyne's knowledge of the scramjet system. Scramjet, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, is a propulsion system that really kicks in after Mach 5. So what it's doing is it's using the force of the air coming into the engine to further accelerate. So it stands for scramjet stands for a supersonic combustion ramjet. It's kind of an air-breathing jet engine to operate at above Mach 5 speeds, and potentially SR-72s up to those Mach 10 speeds that we saw from the Dark Star. Pretty cool, huh?
It's fun to imagine something like we see in Top Gun Maverick that we know is fictional could be real very soon. I love it. I mean, considering the secrecy surrounding the SR-72, what challenges and breakthroughs are we able to anticipate in this hypersonic UAV technology?
It's a long list. If you imagine you're traveling at above Mach 5, extreme conditions up there, you have to get through those kind of harsh, high pressure, high temperature environments. Then when you're traveling at that speed, you've got aerodynamic stability, you've got scramjets being pushed to the limits above Mach 5, you've got thermal management. And then all of that considered, if you get that all worked out, you're going to make sure that the enemy can't see it. In other words, it's also got to be a stealth aircraft. And I know you're moving, but you could still be seen. So making sure the stealth stuff is in play as well.
Yeah.
Challenging.
I didn't even think about thermal management, and they clearly displayed that in the movie. If you'll remember the part where things start melting. I love it. Exactly. I love it. Yeah. I mean, next up, it's been a busy week for AeroVironment, a breakthrough in drone technology for them. Always exciting. AeroVironment has unveiled its new PS2500 battery, extending the flight time of the Puma 3AE drone to an impressive 3 hours. AeroVironments, I gotta work on the pronunciation.
I get the same problem with that. Don't worry.
Yeah. PS2500 battery is a game changer for drone operators, offering an extended flight time and enhanced mission flexibility. The high energy density lithium ion composition with a capacity, I think it was 24.5 ampere hours, allows a seamless integration into the Puma 3AE's battery bay, providing an unparalleled asset for various operations.
This is actually pretty significant advancement in drone technology. I mean, I've had a little bit of time with some big military drones, and I think they were usually running on like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So 3 hours is really breakthrough stuff. But even military reconnaissance aside, the use cases for this kind of thing is really expanding now. So you can imagine you could do a search and rescue with this. I mean, you can't really search and rescue for a short battery. If you've got 3 hours, that can give you a good opportunity, whether that's marine-based or mountain-based, whatever it is. You're able to also use it for environmental monitoring. You might be able to track wildlife, as an example. You've got infrastructure inspection abilities like pipelines, power lines, and so much more. So I think this is significant. Extending those batteries.
From a design perspective, how challenging is it to integrate a high energy density battery while also maintaining the form and functionality of the drone?
Yeah, I mean it's what we do every day, isn't it? Really, it's implementing a CAD simulation tools that starts to look at weight balancing, size constraints, temperature control, structural integrity, and then integrating the whole thing with your entire system up into your procurements, down into your manufacturing, out into maintenance side of things. So it's a challenge, but very achievable. Next up from AeroVironment, we move to financial developments. The Swiss National Bank has increased its stake in the aerospace company. The bank now owns just over 57,500 shares, indicating a 4.9% increase in their stake. This move, along with adjustments from other hedge funds, sheds light on the financial confidence that's out there for AeroVironment's trajectory within the industry. Greg, I know you tend to follow these guys. What kind of other factors do you think may have contributed to the Swiss National Bank's decision to increase its stake?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple different key factors here, right? You've got AeroVironment's positive financial performance, which is always a good sign, but it's one of many variables that you want to look at. They've got a strategic position in the A&D sector. They've got technological innovation, and not just technological innovation, but successful technological innovation that probably attracted the bank as well. So on top of recent contract wins, global market trends, the potential for long-term growth, there's a handful of positive factors that would lead into why the bank would do this. Now, this move probably also aligns with the Swiss National Bank's investment strategy. I don't know if it's seeking exposure to a company positioned for success in an evolving landscape of unmanned systems and aerospace technology. There could be a number of different things there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that financial support from these investors could impact the strategic development and the innovation within organizations like Aero Environment. Have you thought about that?
I mean, I would say it's a pretty pivotal role, not only in you've got, the strategic development and fostering innovation within the aerospace and aero environment space. Increased investment provides the necessary capital for research and development initiatives. It allows the exploration of cutting edge technologies and advancement in unmanned systems. Now, the backing does enhance the company AeroVironment's ability in taking on ambitious projects and securing more contracts and maintaining that competitive edge in the industry. Additionally, it also signals confidence in AeroVironment's vision. So it's like, okay, there's a number of different things that would help, but that could also attract more stakeholders, foster an environment that's conducive to that continued growth and innovation. Let me flip it back on you from a CAD and PLM perspective. How might financial investments influence the design and the development of these technologies?
It's interesting when you've got a group like this moving now at scale, starting to grow, starting to really succeed. They start out sometimes with a fairly basic CAD solution, very basic product lifecycle solution. So this investment allows organizations like this to upgrade their CAD, upgrade their product lifecycle, to really manage a business at far greater scale. This kind of funding will allow aerospace companies to access state-of-the-art CAD systems. So you've got intricate and precision design work that needs to be really growing for something at scale with all these certifications. PLM is going to support bringing that kind of seamless collaboration across the design teams. They're going to start looking at more suppliers, making sure workflows are streamlined, making sure you've got your PDM, your product data management up and running as well. So overall, pretty significant upgrading that they can be doing off the back of this investment.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. All right, let's make sure everyone is sitting comfortably because this has been a very, very busy week for the Airbus Group. Andrew, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, sure. A quick Airbus announcement. Vietjet's purchase of 20 wide-bodied A330-900 planes. That's the first one. Second, it's the vanishing A340 and the rise of the A380. Yep. While the A380 enjoys a resurgence, the A340 faces challenges. So let's just dive in a little further on these long-range, long-haul aircraft. The A340, which was introduced over 30 years ago, was designed to replace the aging 747s and DC-10s because it was boasting an unbeatable range. However, with only 380 produced compared to the A350's 565, the A340 is facing retirement now due to rising fuel costs and the efficiency of twin-engine jets.
Yeah. What role does PLM play in managing the life cycle of older aircraft models like the A340? 30 years feels like a short time almost.
Yeah, it is actually. There's a lot now, especially when you've got some of these aircraft issues where doors are falling off, whatever. You've got now a lot more kind of retrofitting rather than because supply chains are not bringing through the aircraft quick enough these days. So extending the product life cycle of aircraft is really front and center of a lot of organizations these days. So PLM, not in its very boxed sense of the PLM thinking, which is kind of CAD, BOM, EBOM, change, release, configuration management, but really thinking of PLM as a product lifecycle entirety. It's pivotal. It serves as a comprehensive solution. It addresses various challenges associated with aging aircraft. Firstly, you've got kind of robust configuration management. Maintaining detailed records of components and assemblies, crucial for tracking any changes throughout the aircraft's life cycle. Make sure your compliance, make sure your regulations are kept up to date. PLM ultimately excels in spare parts obsolescence management, helping identify and address challenges related to obsolete components. Ultimately, PLM for me contributes to your cost optimization and identifies efficiency improvements, making sure that you're not compromising your safety or regulatory compliance. So, yeah, essential when you think of it as the product lifecycle, not PLM.
Yeah. Well, let's shift our focus to an advancement that Airbus Helicopters is making. Airbus Helicopters has chosen Airborne to renew its cutting room in Germany with state-of-the-art digital kit-by-light systems. The main objective here is to improve operation and material efficiency by making composite plies kitting faster, easier, and without mistakes. The new cutting and kitting lines will include full digital control of the total kitting process to guarantee flexibility, 100% quality control, zero mistakes, to be clear, which is great when you're flying a plane, right? Or a helicopter, and allow dynamic nesting, combining multiple parts in a nest and providing more output per cutter and per worker. The full workflow is going to be digitally and seamlessly integrated, which is always something we like to see, from work preparation to execution on the shop floor. Now, from a CAD and PLM perspective, how might the digital integration here impact the design and production workflows?
Yeah, full digital control ensures seamless collaboration between your design and your manufacturing. It's going to optimize the integration of CAD models into the production process. So it's fundamental to pushing these out the door. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you want to talk about it, but in terms of MESMOM solutions, how can real-time monitoring and control be implemented in a cutting-edge manufacturing environment?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pull through your sensors, your IoT devices. These systems provide instant insights, intelligence into equipment performance, your production status, your quality control. MESMOM, and that's not just kind of from a level 0, 1, 2 up into MESMOM. It's also going to pull through from your CAD PLM systems to ensure you've got alignment with the latest design specs that can be changing, configuration, change management, etc. And then, of course, you can push it up line into ERP, MRP, supply chain. So fundamental, it's the hub. It's the leadership application of where things become real.
Yeah, man. Well, last up today, let's see what's going on with BAE.
So BAE, first headline today, involves a significant acquisition in the aerospace and defense sector. BAE Systems acquiring Ball Aerospace for a huge $5.5 billion. We did announce this some time back, but finally the purchase has been approved. I think it was last week, actually. How might that acquisition impact BAE Systems' product development and manufacturing processes, especially in terms of CAD and PLM? We do know BAE, we do know Ball. They're two very different environments. Thus, why ask the question, Greg? What do you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think this could really step up BAE Systems' product development and manufacturing processes, right? Particularly in CAD and PLM. I mean, the infusion of Ball Aerospace's technological prowess and phenomenal PLM, I guess, synchronicity and strong manufacturing efficiencies is anticipated to expand BAE Systems capabilities, fostering collaborative design efforts, streamlining PLM strategies. The integration of those two holds the promise of optimized workflows, resource utilization, accelerated innovation cycles. Furthermore, the acquisition sets the stage for the unified design standards, which you mentioned, collaboration, and that improved collaboration, signaling a transformative journey in the ever-evolving landscape.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're renaming Ball Aerospace to Space and Mission Systems. How crucial are MESMOM solutions in streamlining these operations?
It's going to be interesting, I think, how they play them out, because obviously I think they're sitting on pretty different MESMOM platforms. But ultimately, I think they're going to want to integrate those, maybe merge into one. Because one of the biggest benefits of a decent mess mom, it's not about one plant, it's about multiple plants. It's about harmonization of processes. It's about when you make a change on a product that you can distribute it instantaneously, seamlessly to multiple plants. If you've got this mashup of different mess mom systems, you're losing that economies of scale and speed. So I think that's where it plays in. It's going to be interesting how do they pull those two different mess mom platforms together. Hopefully, there's one route I would want them to go that really is going to bring them some huge benefits.
Yeah, that's great. Last BAE article, BAE Systems secures a 3.95 billion pound, which I think is right over 5 billion US dollars contract in a pivotal AUKUS milestone in response to the current geopolitical landscape marked by conflicts in Europe, the Middle East, heightened tensions in the Indo-Pacific region, nations worldwide, and we're seeing this across all the articles we're talking about, are intensifying their defense spending, emphasizing international collaborations. Enter the trilateral AUKUS Defense and Security Partnership initiated in September 2021 between you guessed it, United Kingdom, United States, and Australia. Pillar one of this transformative pact charts the course for an Australian conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarine capability. The monumental announcement in March 2023 unveiled the SSN AUKUS, a trilaterally developed submarine integrating cutting-edge U.S. submarine technologies into the United Kingdom's next-generation design.
Great. Yeah, it's kind of a new deal for BAE. 4 billion, as you say, pounds, spearhead the construction of the cutting-edge submarine fleet. Kind of really underpins their pivotal role in advancing defense capabilities. Good for BAE Systems. The program's poised to make substantial contributions to the defense sector, solidifying BAE commitment very much towards innovation and excellence.
Yeah. That's it for Monday. Thanks, everyone. With I think we've got A&D Part 2 tomorrow.
We got it. Tomorrow we got coming up Blue Origin, Boeing, Bombardier, CACI, CAES, and Elbit Systems. See you tomorrow.